Hey guys, and welcome to the live faction review. I've got Ben with me today.
Hello.
He's going to be helping me out. Jay's skiving. He's off at some bar opening, some swanky thing in Hazel Grove.
It's alright for some minute.
I know. So I've got Ben helping me. We are going to be reviewing the Dead of Dunharrow in this video. We'll have a little chat about it, go over the profiles. There's not many. And then we'll have a little 2-3 minute break and we'll move on to Minas Tirith. What I'll do, I'll just give you all 2 or 3 minutes just to all get ready. We'll chat amongst ourselves.
Absolutely.
And yeah, if you could just drop some comments in the comment box so we can make sure everything's working, that'd be fantastic. You could actually do it there.
Yeah.
And it should come up. Who have we got in today anyway? Just let us know, give us a wave. Yeah.
Is that working?
Yeah. What I'm going to do though, while we're here, working fine, lovely jublet. Can you move that, because that's right where the text is. And I will put a chat box on top like that. Fantastic. We're not messing about here. We're not messing about. Wave. How you doing, pal? Good to have you in. So basically, I think we should just kick straight off.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with the army bonus. What's
Cool.
the army bonus?
The dead do not suffer the living to pass. So basically, this gives the King of the Dead gains the Harbinger of Evil special rule, which is basically everything within 12
That's
inches.
awesome. Yeah.
Gets -1 to their courage. The second part of the special rule is warbands from this army list that contain 8 or more models do not need a hero to be the captain of the warband. Instead, one of the warrior models within the warband takes on the role of the captain, warband's captain for the purpose of deployment.
That's cool. It means that you don't need captains, which I know a lot of people really wanted captains of the dead.
Yeah.
But you don't need them, and I think a lot of people were saying, well, there's not a lot of might in the list, which is true. But we were talking just before.
Should we discuss that like when we get to the profiles? Because I think that's like an integral part of the profile.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah. It's not we should get him on more, shouldn't I? Really. He's quite bossy, but
he
knows his onions.
Telling you what to do.
So the first profile is going to be the King of the Dead. So do you want to go over the new rules?
Yeah,
and
cool.
I'll cross-reference it with the older ones.
Cool. So he's movement 6, fight 5, which I believe is new. Was he fight?
He was fight 4 previously. Yeah.
Strength 4, which I think's the same.
Yeah.
Defense 8, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, and courage 7.
So he's got an extra attack, and his might will fate stats.
1, 6, and 3.
So he's got a point of might as well, which is it was greatly needed by the King of the Dead, I think.
Yep.
And his points are.
He's 100 points now.
So he's exactly the same points.
Yep.
So for exactly the same points, he's gained a point of might.
Yeah.
He's got up 1 in fight value, and he's gained an attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is pretty
I think
awesome.
it's a much better profile now than it was. I think the 1 attack before was, he was doing the same potential same damage output as a warrior.
Yeah.
And I think the fight 5 as well now is comparable to kind of some of the lesser heroes, or he's beating a lot of your generic captains and stuff as well, which he needs to.
Which he should have been. He should have been all along.
Absolutely.
And heroic actions, what does he have?
He's got heroic march and heroic strike.
So he's one of the rare ones with heroic strike.
Yeah.
Which again is going to bump him up and makes him pretty formidable against other heroes, which you want him to be. He also has quite a few special rules.
He does indeed. He's got Blades of the Dead, which basically means that he is wounding against the courage value rather than the defense value, which is really cool, especially against evil models.
Yes.
With
the army bonus.
With the army bonus as well. So I'll give you some examples of that in a minute. But Drain Soul, any model that suffers a wound from the King of the Dead is automatically slain, regardless of how many wounds it has remaining. Hero models may prevent these wounds with fate, but even if a single wound is not prevented, they are slain. That is savage.
That's cool. So if basically, no matter how many wounds you've got, and even if you're a hero and you've got fate points, if you don't successfully roll them fate rolls, you're dead. That just makes him awesome.
I played against him. I was using Boromir without the banner, but he had 6 points of might remaining. I rolled a 3 highest to wound. He rolled a 6, and it forced me to use because I couldn't risk.
Yeah.
Whereas before I might have gone, do you know what? Actually, he's courage 6. He should be all right, but he does 1 wound and he's out of there.
Yeah, that's it. You've only got to do the 1 wound. You've got 2 dice to do it. If you've got a banner around, it's 3 dice to do it. And that's you want to keep your big heroes away from him.
Absolutely,
at all costs. At all costs.
You could almost team him up with another hero as well. So for me, we'll come on to allies a bit later on, but Aragon is like a key one.
Yeah.
If you can keep those two together, they're taking down anybody pretty much. You're using Aragon to constantly strike and throw that might at it, and then you're using the King of the Dead just to get that obliterate them. It's not then even necessary for Aragon to do the killing.
That's an awesome combo. I think Damien's bringing that to Throne of Skulls, and he played it at the weekend at a local event. I'm not too sure actually. I think Callum won the event, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure how Damien got on, so it'd be interesting to find that out. But yeah, that's cool. So he's got Drain Soul. What else has he got?
The Dead and the Living. So the King of the Dead has no power over the living, and as such can only command those under the same curse as himself. Only warriors and riders of the dead may use the King of the Dead standfast. Makes absolute sense.
Does, and benefit from his heroic actions.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's got 1 point of might. You will probably be using that for striking.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be using that. I'd be using, we spoke about this with I wouldn't use it for heroic moves because I'd be quite happy for my opponent to move first.
Yep.
Because all Warriors of the Dead and Army there cause terror. You would be using it for that strike against the big hero to inflict that just horrible, devastating blow on your opponent's army. But that's cool.
And then the last special rule is Spectral Walk. So a model with this special rule may move over water features as if they were open ground. I think it's quite situational.
Yes, I didn't expect. It's not something I would have thought. Oh, that's what they need.
No.
Like you said, I think it is situational. There's a lot of boards that won't have any water features on. But if you are playing at an event and
especially
your opponent's
fluffier events,
if your opponent's hindered by the water and you're not. That's a massive advantage.
Yeah.
Massive advantage. So it is cool, it is fluffy, it makes sense. It's like, in the scenes in the movie where they're just floating over
the
whatever.
Water, coming off the ships. Yeah. It's brilliant.
It's really cool. So that is the King of the Dead.
Great profile, I think.
Oh, before we go on to anyone else, he's a hero of valor.
So that's 15?
He can take 15, yeah. He's a spirit, infantry model, and a hero of valor.
Cool. So the first profile, Warriors of the Dead.
Warriors of the Dead.
So do you want to cross-check from the
I'll
old profile? So the new profile is 6 move, 3 fight, strength 3, defense 7, 1 attack, 1 wound, and courage 6.
So 337-116.
Yep, that's exactly the same.
Exactly the same. And his points cost?
They're 14 points.
So they're a point cheaper.
Yep. They've got access to banner, shield, and spear.
Same. Yep.
So the shield would take them up to defense 8, which is cracking.
Yeah.
Special rules wise, they've got Blades of the Dead, so that again they're wounding against the courage. They've got terror and they've got Spectral Walk. So much the same sort of special
pretty much
rules
the same as gain Spectral Walk as the King did.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, again, that's cool. The high defense and striking against courage with now having the Harbinger of Evil special rule, it just makes them pretty formidable.
So I had a bit of a chat with somebody online earlier today just about this profile, and they said that they couldn't see how it was worth 14 points when you look at other profiles, but especially I think you're probably looking at the strength 3 and thinking that's not particularly good. But I think what makes these superb is obviously the Blades of the Dead, so they're wounding against the courage. So for the likes of we're talking about Morin and Orcs earlier, they're a courage 2. So even without any modifiers or bonuses, they're down to defense 2 rather than defense 6. So strength 3 versus defense 6, you need in 6s to wound them. Strength 3 wounding against the courage of 2 is 4s, so you're wounding them 50% of the time. And if you've got the King of the Dead round with his Harbinger of Evil rule, that's another -1 to their courage. So they're down to courage 1. So you think you wound them on 3. So you should be killing 2/3 of any that you win in combats against.
I think people forget, they look at it as a normal warrior profile, and what they're not realising is that it is a normal warrior profile, but you cause terror. So if again, like you mentioned, orcs, if you're up against orcs with a low courage and the Harbinger of Evil again, they have to pass that courage check to charge you, so you're not really too fussed about that. And then the ones that do get through, you've got a high defense, a really high defense.
And you should be.
If you lose the fight.
Not everybody is going to be able to charge in on you. So you assume that. I don't even know what the odds are of, because let's say you've got down to courage 1, you have to roll 9 on 2 dice. You're not getting many orcs in. So then that gives you the opportunity. Then if they move first, you can counter charge, and you can really pick and choose which combats you want to be fighting, and when you don't necessarily need to have it all 1-on-1s or 2-on-1s. You can have 3-on-1s just to make sure that you are winning the key combats.
Well, one thing I would say, because I was kind of that mindset about looking at them and thinking they're not that great. This was before the new rules came in. And then obviously we did the videos, which were the 4 scenarios from the new starter set. And if any of you just want to see how formidable they are, go back and watch the one, I think it's called the March of the Dead scenario. And Morans just can't get into combat with them. And the Army of the Dead were just able to pick the combats, go where they wanted to go. Trolls were failing turn after turn after turn. Trolls were failing to charge one Warrior of the Dead. And it's insane. You can pick your fights, you can control the battlefield. So 14 points, I think fitting.
On the flip side of that, though, if you come up against something like elves who are courage 5, that's where you're going to come unstuck, and that's
how it should be.
But exactly. But that's almost like a normal fight then. So I think good versus evil. I think they are far better than good versus good.
Yes, but then also on the flip side of that, if they come up against elves, Harbinger of Evil brings elves down to courage 4.
That is true.
So even at 4, courage 4, you're not. There's no guarantees.
No, absolutely
no guarantees.
And they're still wounding on, I want to say 5s.
4s, 5s, yeah, 5s.
5s.
Yeah.
So
it's killing elves on 5s.
So 2/3 of the time, if you charge, if you do wound them, you'll wound them to a third of the time.
Yeah,
so that's not bad.
Get your banner in there and you're laughing.
Just thinking about the meta and things as well. Obviously, there's a lot of strength 4 out there now. So, whether you'd be tempted to take the option of a shield, because it takes them up to defense 8. I think obviously against the strength 3 and elven shooting and things, that makes they need 6/4s, 6x4s. Then
6x4. So strength 3, 6x4s.
Yeah.
Strength 4s is straight 6s.
Yeah, straight 6s.
So yeah, I mean that's exactly what we were saying before. Even if you do get into combat with them, even if you are a strength 4 warrior or hero, you've still got to roll a 6 to kill it, and it's a warrior. When you're fighting an army of them, it's going to be tough. And I think I can't wait to see Damien's army. I keep saying Damien because he's the only one at the minute who's building an army
and actually going for it properly with.
I want to see it on the table.
Yeah,
I want to see it. It's going to look cool. We never really seen them before. I think I've seen Kieran Street brought it a couple of times to different tournaments. But
it's one of those armies that I just would never have probably thought of prior to the Pelennor Fields box coming. I must admit, it's just one that properly escaped me.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we haven't touched on, which I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video, was the allies, but we'll go to that at the end after we've done the Rider of the Dead. But yeah, I mean, allying them in as well. So Damien's bringing Aragorn with him. It's very thematic from the film, and it's like you say, if you get a big hero in there with these, or something that's got bowfire.
Yeah.
I think the yellow with Rohan. On the allies list.
We'll have a quick look in a second.
You get something with bowfire that can just weaken your enemies from the get-go before you clash, and you're laughing.
Yeah.
It makes up for you paying so much for your warriors.
Yeah. Because
you've already took away maybe, a fifth of the enemy force before you clash, which is great.
Absolutely.
So on from the Warrior of the Dead, we've got the Rider of the Dead.
Okay, so they've got movement of 6 inches. They've got fight 3, strength 3, defense 8, because they automatically got a shield.
Yeah.
1 attack, 1 wound, and courage 6. So I think that's the same.
It's the same profile as the Warrior of the Dead. Yeah, that's not changed. Price wise,
they are 24 points.
Still 24 points. Yeah.
So this time they have got Spectral Steed.
Yeah.
This is a horse that is a spirit model and has a defense of 6.
That's pretty big.
It is, yeah.
Because they didn't have that before. I think it was classed as a normal horse.
Yeah.
Unarmoured horse. Now, is there any other defense 6 horses in the game?
I don't think so. No, the armoured horse is defense 5, aren't they?
A defense 6 horse.
The only thing is that they've only got movement of 6 inches, so they don't count as your cavalry, do they?
Yeah. So the movement is for the warrior.
Yeah, sorry.
For the warrior. The cavalry is the key word that you're looking for. So they still can move 10.
Yeah.
They can move 10 again with the spectral
steed.
They can move 10 over water terrain, which is great. We've already mentioned about the manoeuvrability and how positive that can be for your army against your opponent that's going to be hindered by it.
Yeah.
And you've get again. What seems to have happened here with these, you're gaining stuff, but you're paying pretty much the same points.
Yeah.
Which just makes the army more accessible to people and
more viable.
Yeah, it makes people want to bring it.
One thing that I'd be tempted to take some of these guys as part of, if I was to play this army, I'd be tempted to take maybe 2 or 3 of these guys just to chuck onto objectives.
Yeah.
The Courage 6, as what I said, applies the same to the Warriors. If you end up broken, Courage 6 is still pretty good, and they're not running for it's not as though they're orcs or your general warriors. They're hanging round, and especially if you've got a rider that can move 12 inches, they can get onto objectives. They can be out of your standfast bubbles because King of the Dead is defense 7. He's not running, and he's got 6 will as well, so he's definitely not running.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you've got people out on the far sides sitting on objectives and stuff, you want them to be hanging round, and these guys will.
Yeah.
At defense 6.
One thing that's jumped out, and it's only just jumped at me now actually, about these 2 profiles on these pages, because I was just about to say one thing that I'd be doing with my banner is putting it on a mount, but there is no option for the banner. So can your bannerman only be on foot? If anyone knows the answer to this, please pop it in the comments. So you've got the options for it on the warrior on foot, but there's no options on the rider. So that kind of scuppers my plan. Just having
so if you lose now, that's what you're going to blame it on.
Yeah. Well, imagine having your banner on a rider dead with a defense 6 horse. You're not shooting him.
No.
So but he's not. The option's not there. So maybe you mustn't be allowed to do it.
I don't think you can. But I think it's a really viable army.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. I do.
Should we move on to the allies?
So the allies, I've give you a cheat sheet here.
Oh, excellent.
So the green allies, there's only 2.
Yeah.
And they are
Minas Tirith and Rangers.
Which makes complete sense.
Absolutely.
To me.
So they need to have Aragorn, otherwise they are all impossible alliances.
Yeah, that's true.
So I didn't quite know how this works with the obviously the yellow alliances. So obviously Fellowship can have Aragorn in it.
Yeah.
But if everybody that doesn't include Aragorn are impossible allies, I don't quite know how that works. Whether they would all be impossible.
Yeah, that's true, because it does say that, doesn't it? It says, where does it say it? Where's the actual wording?
There we go.
So a Dead of Dunharrow army list is automatically impossible allies with any force that doesn't also include Aragorn. So if you done it as, so obviously you've got the yellow. I'll tell you the yellow factions now, which are yellow on the matrix, which is Fangorn, Fellowship, Fiefdoms, Thranduil's Halls, Lothlorien, Misty Mountains, Rivendell, Rohan, the Shire, the White Council, and the Wildmen of Druidan. Now, obviously, all of them lists don't all have Aragorn as an option.
No.
But does it mean that you basically have 3 different lists? So you ally Aragorn in as a singular hero from maybe Fellowship. And then put the others in.
And
that allows it to be yellow.
Yeah. So you'd take that's how it would work.
I think that's how I'd interpret it. I mean, by all means, again, if you know different to myself, then put the comments below. It'd be really interesting to see how that does pan out, because it kind of contradicts itself. But when I stopped and thought about it, I thought, well, it must mean that you ally the 2 in, but you leave enough points to drag Aragorn in from another list.
I think Aragorn obviously is incredibly thematic. From when he grabs the King of the Dead by the throat, and clearly they are subservient almost to him.
Yeah.
And I think he's almost a key one to take with them, because obviously we talked about the lack of might. They've got 1 might point in the army. Not that they necessarily need it, but to make sure that you do get those key moves or things. Having that Aragorn as that might store is great. And I think that's a big advantage. So
the thing about Aragorn now is as well, he's so much more better than he was in the older rules. It's an excuse to bring Aragorn anyway.
Absolutely,
so,
And we're going to cover him off a little bit in the next video, aren't we? Or in the next part of this video.
Yes, we'll go over the king himself. So we've gone over the allies.
Which then would you want to take, Minas Tirith or Rangers? Do you reckon as a?
I'd like to try both. I mean, I'd have to put Aragorn in there anyway.
Yeah. But you're taking almost 2 different versions of Aragorn, aren't you? You're taking the heavily armoured and.
I think I'd try it with the Rangers just for the bow to see how the bows work with the Army of the Dead, because I think that's the thing that they're missing.
Yeah,
a bit arranged, and I think if you can just whittle numbers down, they're going to be so busy thinking about the King of the Dead and him being away from the heroes. If you can class your normal warriors like of the dead into their normal warriors, you're gonna put a big hole in their army.
Yeah,
definitely. I think anyway. I mean, you don't know till you try it, but that's what it screams out at me.
I'd quite like to try Minas Tirith, but with Aragorn, a front line of warriors of the dead and a back line of
Minas
Tirith spearmen, because you get the banner reroll from Aragorn.
Yeah.
So you've automatically got a banner reroll in there. Yeah, they are a lower fight, but do you know what? Even if you're losing, you've got that defense 7 or 8 front row, with sort of cheap chaff behind. You can chuck some bows and stuff in there as well.
Yeah. There's loads of different little combinations.
It's
when you start thinking about it, like you think, oh, what about this and what about that? Because the other thing is what we spoke about, the veterans.
Yeah.
With their boost.
Yeah, definitely.
You'd be laughing with that. But anyway, we won't go on to that because that's Minas Tirith, so we'll go on to that. We'll jump into the comments. Have any of you guys brought Army of the Dead, or are you building an Army of the Dead list? And what do you think of it? Do you agree with anything we've said, or do you disagree?
Cool. So Scott W. I played against King of the Dead in TOS last year. That's Throne of Skulls. He only had 3 Mubax.
Just the three.
But managed to trample him, so no instant kills on elephants. Was very scary. But yeah, against
he was weaker then.
Yeah, he was
weaker then.
He was weaker. There were 2 armies using them in our tournament. Yes, the King's Harbinger of Evil rule is absolutely brutal. It absolutely is. I think it's almost key to the army, really. I think he's like such a. It's not necessarily just what he brings himself. It's the influence that he brings along with it is such a huge.
Without the Harbinger of Evil, the improvements have already made the army better.
Yeah,
they've added the Harbinger of Evil as the special rule, and it's just made the even better list even better again.
The Rotterdam White Scars. For now, it isn't available yet, but hopefully they will get this in the new expansion. It would be so damn cool. I'm not sure what that is. Is that potentially in?
Are you talking about the banner there? Is that your own? Is your own Felix? Are you talking about the mounted banner there? I think.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I hope so.
Yeah. Scarton, if you take a lasso, you don't really need the mounted banner guys. No, exactly.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, because it's friendly models, isn't it? Yeah, that's very true.
Glyn Seymour, evening lads.
How you doing, Glyn? Good to see you again.
And Scott W, why not Rangers with spears over the spearmen? You'd have the fight 4 rather than the fight 3. I suppose it's just that, to me, the defense 4 it is, it's, try it.
That's the thing, it's like trying to see. But I always have a bit of a thing, like I used to try and get the most out of my lists, and now I like my lists to be not a walkover. I want them to be decent, but at the same time I want them to look
cool.
thematic.
Yeah.
I don't want just like some random thing backing up some other random thing that doesn't go together. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. Everyone each to their own. It's great, but when I build lists, I try and keep them as thematic as I can.
Scarton, Elasar plus Ranger / Fountain Courts, I'm guessing they are, and a lot of Army of the Dead won our tournament yesterday.
Yeah,
not surprising.
It's a good alliance, like really good. Like the benefits that you get, they seem to counteract each other's weaknesses. I think, really well,
because you get the extra numbers from the Warriors of Minas Tirith and stuff. And I don't want to sort of jump too much onto the next part, but the army bonus for Minas Tirith keeps them hanging around a good bit longer. Their defense 6/7 if you're taking Warriors of Minas Tirith with shield. So again, they're just hanging around for a long time, and they're not just crumbling to the strength 4. That's kind of abundant. Do you know what I mean? Whereas they may have done before at defense 6.
I mean, Fountain Court Guard were good anyway. Always have been, and they're really nice models. They look cool on the table. But with elites, again, it's that thing. I wouldn't want to see more than say 10, 12. I think I brought a list one time. It's probably on the GBHL channel. I had a list, and I think I had 2 warbands of Fighting Court Guard, which at the time I thought, yes, I'm getting the best out of this list. But then when I look back, there wasn't that many. They're an elite.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's a bit odd to have that many. So mixing it up, you know, that's another way you can keep the numbers down and not be too beardy with your elites.
So just have a few.
Just have alliances. Alliance with them with someone else.
Yeah, definitely. And then Ryan Wood. Ryan Wood's going for a 500 point pure dead. He's trying out the king, 4 cavalry, and 8 spears and shields, and 8 shields. So that's 16, 20, 21 models. It's quite low.
It's quite low, but I think you're going to stick around twice as long. I think.
Yeah. Well, I think we've discussed all the benefits and things. So if you're only just sort of tuning in now, but you know, you might as well watch from the beginning when this goes up. But I think it can hold its own.
I do.
I played against it, but you know, I was outnumbering them kind of 2-1 when I played against them, and I won the game in the end. But it was more down to some very lucky dice rolls rather than it being that they just weren't dying because I was needing 6s, especially the ones with the shields. I was needing 6s by 4s to wound them because I was using Minas Tirith.
Yeah.
And they're just really, really tough to take down.
They're not going to die easy. They're basically, you know, it's your dwarf scenario. Dwarves are just like a grind, aren't you? You just got to grind through them, and you might win tons of combats and kill nothing. Yeah. The amount of times that's happened, I've lost count. But they are really good, really, really good.
Only one might point for the king is what might let me down. I think we've discussed that as well.
I don't think that's a challenge for you. I don't think that's as big a problem as people think it's going to be. What you're going to use the might for, I think it's been discussed on threads in the Facebook channel and other YouTube channels I've mentioned. Heroic move is probably the most powerful heroic in the game, I think. Just getting the jump on your opponent. What you've got in this army sort of built in is a counter to that, in the fact that you've got the terror. So even if you lose priority and you're not going to get charged as badly as you think you are. They're going to fail courage checks. You're still going to be able to pick fights, and you're going to be able to put your King of the Dead. Sometimes it's going to be beneficial to lose priority.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I'm not bothered.
Yeah,
you know, fail all your courage checks.
Try and charge me.
I'll put my king right into your hero who's just failed his courage check. Happy days.
And he's bolted. Yeah. So I think that's it for the comments.
So that's all the comments for Army of the Dead. What we're going to do is we're going to have a quick 2-3 minute break. So we'll go back onto the starting soon screen. Me and Ben will just go and get a little drink, gather our thoughts, get things ready for Minas Tirith, and we'll see you back here in a couple of minutes.
See you later.
Hey guys, and we are back, and as if by magic, I'm gonna change that picture to Minas Tirith because I'm good like that. Hey guys, and we are back, as if by magic. I'll turn that off. Yeah, if you could just let us know again in the comments that the sound's working okay and everything after our little toilet break, and we'll crack on with Minas Tirith. It was a good little talk about the Dead of Dunharrow.
It was. This is like, and this kind of moves like really slickly on to.
She's never planned it.
Yeah, exactly. It is, isn't it? As if we just didn't just turn up and started talking.
I know, yeah. So let's have a look.
So should we go through?
So Ryan, I will. We'll just a couple of comments from the last one. The Rotterdam White Scar says, Ryan, I will agree with the opinion that both gentlemen are saying. The one might is less, but you get a good counter with it as well. Exactly. That's. I think you're going to do really well with it. Are we still on that? No, we shouldn't do.
Can you give us a shout, guys?
Can you just pop a few comments in, or just say hi or wave? Remember that is behind.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Just want to make sure you can all hear us.
Yeah. Don't want to be talking for half an hour if no one can hear us.
Sure you can all hear us.
Yeah. There you go.
Don't want to be talking for half an hour if no one.
Cool. It's all working fine. Excellent.
It's just your old phone, mate.
It's just my old phone. Yeah. Right. Shall we crack on then?
Right. Okay. So let's crack on. We are going to be covering Minas Tirith. What we'll do is we'll talk about the army bonus, and then we'll talk about the alliances, which we should have done in that order last time, but it's normally Jay who does these. You know, I'm just winging it. So that's what we'll do, and then we'll move on.
A proper job this time.
I know. And then we'll move on to the profiles. So, Minas Tirith. Oh, look, there they all come. Working fine. Test working fine, guys. Thank you, people.
Thank you very much.
So, the army bonus.
Cool. So, you are men of Gondor. Whatever comes through that gate, you will stand your ground. Have a little.
I like
sort
that.
Of a little
I enjoyed
there.
that. I did enjoy that.
So it means friendly Gondor models. They've got the Gondor keyword there. From this army list, increase their courage value by 1.
So Gondor's in bold.
Yep.
Which means that anyone who has that keyword in their profile, I'm assuming, benefits from this.
Mm-hmm.
Which we're not going to go into fiefdoms.
No.
But the fiefdoms do have the Gondor keyword. So when we cover fiefdoms, we will also reference back to how that will work out. And their alliances are. I'll give you a cheat sheet there, my friend.
So we've got the Dead of Dunharrow, who we've already just discussed. You've got the fiefdoms, and you've got Rohan. And all of them make complete sense.
Yeah, they're the green alliances. Like Ben said, make complete sense. And then on the yellow,
we've got Fangorn, Fellowship, Thranduil's Halls, Lothlorien, Misty Mountains, Rangers, Rivendell, Shire, White Council, and Wildmen. So there's quite a lot of yellow alliances there.
Yeah, I'm just impressed that you can read my handwriting.
Yeah.
So
it was a bit of a challenge, I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, Minas Tirith, they're going to be able to ally with numerous people.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably the most popular of the sort of man factions.
Yeah.
And friendly to most of the good factions, so it makes complete sense that they can ally with all those. So that's the alliance matrix standing, and we've got their army bonus. So we move straight into the juicy stuff.
Let's do it.
So the first profile that we have for Minas Tirith is
Aragorn, King LSR. So this is like the proper beefy, meaty version of Aragorn. So should we go through the profile?
So let's start with his points value.
He's 225 points.
So he's cheaper than he was. He was 260.
Cool, excellent. So he's fight 6, strength 4, defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and 6 courage.
Exactly the same.
3 might with a little asterisk next to it. 3 wounds and 3 fate.
3 will, 3 fate, in fact.
3 will. Yeah.
So he's 333, and he has the mighty. Is it mighty?
He's got the mighty hero special rule, which gives him 1 free might point per turn, which doesn't come out of his store.
Which just makes Aragorn a beast.
Again, like we were talking previously for that previous army, he's just that. He even. You know when you get to the end of the game and everyone's just going, I've got nothing. I can't call anything because I've got anything. He is still going. He's
controlling the game.
He's still doing heroic combats. He's still doing your moves. He's still there, kind of moving your army forward.
Yeah.
So he has got in his war gear heavy armor, so that's where the defense 7 comes from. He's got Anduril Flame of the West.
Yeah.
So Anduril is an elven made hand and a half sword, so it means he could go one-handed or two-handed.
Yeah.
And elven made basically means that on tied combats he gets to
he's winning it on a 4, 5 or 6.
3, 4, 5, 6.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yes.
So he's winning 2/3 of the time, which is great. And he's never required more than a 4 to wound roll. So he's wounding anything half the time. So heroes, trolls, anything basically, which is
just, that's crazy.
cracking. If he uses Anduril two-handed as well, he gets the +1 to wound, meaning that he will wound on a 3+ if he goes. But obviously he's got that -1 to fight, so I probably wouldn't. I can't really think of situations where
it depends whether you've used that 3 point of might yet at that stage.
Yes, yeah.
So if you've not used that point of might at that stage, you might think to yourself, "I'm going to go two-handed."
So then, even if you roll 6, which would be go
down to a 5, you still whack it up to the 6 for free
if they match it. He's got the option of an armored horse, which I think is an auto include. It's 15 points, but you take it. It doubles his killing power, really.
Doubles it. I mean, he's got 3 attacks anyway with Anduril on what he's killing things. And you like say you're doubling your attacks if you win the combat on a horse. Why would you not? For 15 points, you just would.
And the armored horse is defense 5, so it's hanging around for a while at least.
Yeah.
Heroic actions. He's got all the heroic actions.
Yeah, as he should.
Heroic resolve, heroic march, heroic strike. I think that's a heroic strike is a good one with the free might point as well, because you're able to just keep doing it. If you don't kill who you needed to, you can go back and do it exactly the same again.
Yeah.
Heroic strength, heroic defense, and heroic challenge. So he's got all of them basically.
Everything. Yeah. Resolve's really good. I'm a big fan of resolve.
Yeah. Special rules. He's got mighty hero, like we've already discussed, and he's got horse lord. So that is.
So horse lord means that if his horse does get shot, he can use his fate rolls to attempt to save the horse.
That's quite cool.
Which is good because it just makes again the horse more viable. It's going to stick around a little bit longer. It might make your opponent think twice about actually targeting the horse.
Yeah.
I know it would me, because I'd think I want to make these shots count. Know, in the older rules you think, right, I'll take all the horses off. But if it's a horse lord special rule on that hero, it might make you think.
It might be the difference. If you let's say you start opposite sides of the board and they're shooting at you and you just want to get into combat as quickly as possible, actually that one extra turn of having the horse might make the difference between you getting into combat with the horse to really cause some damage, because other than having some really, really poor rolls, he is tearing through people.
It's a nice rule. It's not automatically made horses like uber strong and like they're going to stick around all the time. You still could fail your fate roll, and you've used one of your like 200+ point heroes fate rolls
for
a horse for nothing. Well, it feels like for nothing, but I think it's going to be used more as a deterrent. That's that. It would make me think twice about attempting to shoot the horse.
Cool.
I'd look at the next sort of thing on the pecking order of priority to shoot.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's good. It's a good rule.
And then the last special rule is stand men of the West. Aragorn is able to inspire even the most humble of warriors to great deeds of valor. Friendly mobs within 6 inches of Aragorn, King Lesser, count as being in range of a banner. So that's really cool. 6 inches.
It's 12 inches.
Yeah.
It's a 12-inch banner. That's how I look at it. It's 12 inches, and if he's on a horse, he's got a 40mm base. It's even more.
Yeah. So that's really cool. You almost don't need to take, because like we said, he's going to be hanging around for a while. Banners, there's always that risk that they could get shot out. I know you get points for them in certain scenarios and things, but I think that's a great rule.
But people work things out differently in their head, don't they? To me, that automatically for me sort of makes him 200 points rather than 225.
Yeah, exactly, because you're taking the value of the banner.
Because I would with Minas Tirith, I'd always have a banner.
Yeah,
I'd always have a banner.
2 banners because of the
because of the
range,
the radius. Yeah, it's a brilliant profile.
Yeah,
probably one of, if not the best.
I think we'll see a lot of him.
I've painted mine up again.
Yeah.
I stripped and painted him with the sole purpose of getting him on the table. So you're definitely going to see him on the channel very, very soon.
So yeah,
We had a game with him actually. Didn't we?
You
You played Goth. You played my Goth mod.
No, you used Gandalf, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I changed it last minute. I used Gandalf.
Which moves us smoothly
Yes.
on to the next one. Almost like you planned that.
So the next profile is Gandalf the White. I'm not going to compare it to the old Gandalf the White profile because it's in Minas Tirith. It's a whole new profile.
Just going back to
this
Aragorn,
army.
he's a hero of legend, so that means he can take 18.
18. So
Big,
hoarding out.
chunk, yeah.
So let's just go at it. Gandalf the White. How many points is
He's 220 points.
Awesome. And
He's a hero of valor, so he's taken 15 as well, which that's a big change from last time. He couldn't lead anybody, because he was an ally for Minas Tirith, which is great.
So it means in theory, 700 plus points you could get LSR Gandalf in there and still get a substantial amount of heroes. You'd still be a low number count, but you'd have two massive heroes in there. It'd be a lot of fun to play. But anything 800 to 1,000, then I think you probably would try and squeeze the two of them in there.
Yep.
So yeah, let's go on to his profile itself.
So he's got fight 5, strength 4, defense 6. He's got 2 attacks, which he didn't have before.
New.
He's got 3 wounds, courage 7, 3 might, 6 will with a little asterisk, and 3 fate.
Okay, so straight off the bat, it's pretty much barring the extra attack. It's the profile for Gandalf that we would expect to see. The only thing for me that makes it even better is if you're pure Minas Tirith,
the bonus.
You're getting +1 to that 7, which means he's courage 8, which means he cannot fail a courage check,
and
unless
chances are
Harbinger of Evil and stuff like that.
Gandalf is going to be around on the table because he's not your frontline combat hero, and he's quite survivable as well, which we'll discuss in a sec. Defense 6 obviously is keeping him around, but obviously he's there as a caster, not your frontline sort of killing machine. So towards the end of the game, he is going to be around, sort of keeping everyone together.
Well, he did, the game we played. Yeah, he was alive. I lost the game, but Gandalf was still there. He was intact.
No one else was, but he was still there.
I'll let you have that.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
It's the only game he's won against me.
Yeah, it is.
and it was my army he used. I'll just pick your armies in future.
Yeah. Do that. So should we move on to his
let's move on to his war gear.
So he's got the Staff of Power, so that gives him 1 free will point each turn.
Yep.
He's got Glamdring, which is an Elven made hand and half sword. So again, he can go 2-handed, and he's winning tide combats on Earth 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
And it increases his strength by 1 when making strikes with it. So that takes him up to strength 5.
Strength 5, which is
good. He's good. He's killy.
Now he's got 2 attacks. He's mounted as well.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Strength 5 is really good.
And he's got Narya, which is the Ring of Fire, one of the 3 elven rings gifted to Gandalf by Círdan. Gandalf may re-roll his dice when making fate rolls. So, like I said, he's got 3 fate. If he fails one, he can re-roll it.
Yeah,
it's great, really.
Yeah.
He is, as I said, at defense 6, he's hanging around for quite a while.
Yeah.
Options wise, he's got Shadowfax, who is 20 points, which is new.
Yeah, it's new, and we may as well get to it now. Shadowfax has his own profile, as you would expect. He can move 12 inches rather than the normal 10. Strength 4, defense 5, so it's like an armoured horse. 1 wound, courage 5, but he has 2 will and 1 fate.
So he's standing.
He's basically got a hero profile with no might. He's got his own fate and he's got 2 will, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
So he can resist. So he could resist.
If Gandalf's mounted and he's targeted by a spell, it's the model that's targeted. So you can use Shadowfax's will to resist rather than Gandalf's store.
That's cool, isn't it?
Which is really good. Really good.
So I would personally say that's probably an auto include. Especially the 12-inch movement as well. He's keeping out of trouble when you want him to.
Yep.
But you're getting into positions when you want him to as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, auto include.
Really good.
Heroic actions, heroic resolve, heroic channeling, and heroic strike.
The heroics that you'd expect from a wizard, and then the strike thrown in there because it's probably the most powerful wizard on
Yeah.
Middle Earth.
Well, you when we were playing, you took on Gothmog direct with Gandalf,
yes.
and it was close, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was.
Yeah, I should have done more damage with that than I did.
Yeah, you.
I
very
rolled
poorly.
badly when it came to wound, and I think the game could have been slightly different.
Mhm.
But it's a game of dice, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So he also has more magical powers. What's his magical power list?
So he's got Blinding Light on a 2+.
Yeah.
Immobilize on a 2+.
Yeah.
Terrifying Aura on a 2+.
Yeah.
Command on a 3+. Fortify Spirit on a 3+. Strength and Will on a 3+. Banishment on a 4+, which he definitely didn't have before.
No.
Sorcerer's Blast on a 4+, and Your Staff is Broken on a 4+,
Yeah.
which I don't think he had
I
before
don't think
either.
he had that before. And I mean, the fact that he's 4+ is the highest that he needs to roll to cast. He's
Yeah.
really, really good. He's got Fortify Spirit, which just makes him, again, an even better caster. You get him 3 dice to roll. It's 3 dice to resist, it is, isn't it? 3 dice
Yeah.
to resist. If you channel it, it's 2 free dice on top of what you want to use.
So anybody that starts to target him
Yeah.
is...
Again, it's like a deterrent, I think.
yeah.
Because you think, is it worth me casting that spell to try and immobilise him? Because
Whereas actually he's got 2, or he's already got 2 or 1 to resist it. So, and then you've still got your free 1 from your store, and there is a lot going on
your
there.
2 free ones with Shadowfax.
Yeah,
He's a beast.
yeah. So I think we'll see a lot more of him, because he was never seen as value for money in the previous
Gandalf
meta.
the Grey was always better value for money.
Yeah, or Saruman. You'd always see Gandalf the Grey or Saruman, but
Yeah.
you never saw. But I think we'll see a lot more of Gandalf the White. He has a lot of points, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I think he is far, far more.
I think you put him on Shadowfax, and I think he's quite actually a little bit of a bargain.
Yeah, definitely.
You may as well say you could say he's got 8 will in his store,
Pretty
If you
much,
wanted to.
yeah.
because you're going to have to resist something at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gandalf the White is a beast.
Cool. Excellent.
So who do we move on to next?
Should we move on to Denethor?
Let's do it.
So he is now 35 points.
He was
Just
30, so he's gone up. Yeah.
He is a hero of valor, so he's taking 15 guys.
That's good.
He's fight 5, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 5, and might, will, and fate is 0, 3, 0. So I think he's got exactly the same.
That's all exactly the same.
Profile as he had last time. He's got armor and a sword. Personally, I always think that Denethor was. People, I think, saw the Broken Mind special rule previously and just kind of discounted him completely, and they thought he's not worth taking.
I've used him quite a lot, and I think I failed it once.
Yeah, I think it's a 1 in 6 chance. I think there is of you failing it.
He's got 3 will.
Through
To alter them rolls. If you always have to try and compare things, I think, to tournament play. I mean, how many turns normally is a tournament game? 4, 5, 6 turns.
Yeah.
Really.
So he's going to fail on one of those. So,
Yeah.
with the dice. But then with the 3 will, he is again hanging around for quite a while.
So I'm going to let you go over the special rules. I'm just going to go and sort something out.
Yeah, no worries. So the Broken Mind special rule is still there. So at the start of every turn, before priority is rolled, the controlling player must take a courage test for Denethor. If the test is passed, all is fine. If the test is failed, Denethor is controlled by the opposing player until the end phase of that turn. Whilst under the control of the opposing player, friendly models cannot target Denethor with shooting attacks or magical powers that cause damage, and may not make strikes if they beat him in a fight. So it's a good representation of how he was in the film. You could see he was a bit unhinged, and I think it's a really good thematic rule. That was pretty much the wording, word for word, on the previous version as well. But this time, it's got a new section. If Boromir is part of the same army as Denethor, then Denethor will automatically pass these courage tests. So long as Boromir is alive. Should Boromir be slain, then Denethor will automatically fail the next courage test he must take for this special rule. I think that's quite cool. It's definitely thematic.
It's cool. It just adds an element of from the books and the movies into the game.
Yeah.
I really like that. I really like stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it
and he's still awesome.
Yeah, he's still good. That fight 5 is great against your rank of value. You're not putting him in against massive big heroes or anything like that.
35 points.
Yeah.
He's a hero of valor, same as Gandalf's a hero of valor.
Yeah.
You know, he can lead. Is it 15?
15.
50. He can lead 15 troops and he's 35 points.
Yeah.
So that's when you bring one of your bigger heroes like Elisar or Gandalf. You whack someone like that in.
Yeah.
And he can bring 15 troops, and that's how you spam it out and get your numbers back up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much about the broken mind. I think if you fail that roll,
yeah,
you're more unlucky than anything.
Yeah, definitely. He's got another special rule as well, which is new. The rule of Gondor is mine and no others. Years of ruling the White City have made Denethor reluctant to give up power, not even to the true King of Gondor. If your force contains Denethor, then he must be your leader, unless your force also contains Aragorn, King Elessar. So this is a bit of a double-edged sword for me.
Yeah.
So if you come up in Contest of Champions, you're knackered. But on the other side of this, it was a tactic in the old kind of meta to make like a low, a captain or somebody of a lower points value your leader.
Yeah.
So that you can go and hide them around the corner, they're out of trouble and things. Whereas now, because it has to be the hero with the highest hero
on the
level,
tier.
heroic tier. Now you can actually almost take advantage of that.
Yeah.
I think in reality, it is only Contest of Champions where you are going to have a bit of a challenge with
Contest
that.
of Champions, you could either be very lucky and survive the first turn or two, or you're gonna. Other than that, you're gonna have a lot to do in the game. I mean, it's not an auto lose, by any stretch of the imagination. It just gives your opponent a bit of a foot up, shall we say? But if you've got Elisar in there, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
or I think we'll skip that one. We'll move on to the next one so we can kind of link them in together. Or you could take, as I probably would, because I love the model and I love just Boromir in general, which is the next profile we're going to discuss, which is Boromir, Captain of the White Tower. So he's how many points?
He's 160 points. And his old profile was 175. So he's cheaper.
A little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
So he's fight 6.
Yep.
Strength 4.
Yep.
Defense 6. 3 attacks, 3 wounds. Courage 6. 6 might. 6 might. That's a lot. 3 will and 3 fate.
So that's all the same.
Yeah. So he's pretty tanky. He's got 3s in all the right places and a 6 in somewhere where you don't see anywhere else. Yeah. He's got heavy armor, sword, and the Horn of Gondor. The Horn of Gondor, I think, is brilliant.
Yeah.
Boromir can blow the horn at the start of a fight. If he's outnumbered by 2 to 1 or more, the enemy combatant in the fight with the highest courage value must take a courage test. If the test is passed, the combat is fought as normal. If the test is failed, Boromir automatically wins the fight and can strike blows against his enemies. That's really cool. That's always been the same, but it's one that I always forget to use as well.
Yeah.
But
and
I
it's
think
so good as well.
Yeah.
You find, I mean, Boromir's the kind of hero. He's got 6 might. Yes, he can take out other big heroes with 6 might. Yes, he can do that. He can smash up your opponents like general whatever. But for me, you throw him in your heroic. You've got 6 might heroic combat. You want to be outnumbered.
You go in against goblins, or and he's just tearing through them. So his options is the Banner of Minas Tirith, which we'll discuss in a sec, which is 40 points. He's got horse, lance.
So that's cheaper than it was. The Banner.
Yeah. So how many points?
It was 50.
50.
Yeah.
He's got the horse, he's got the lance, and he's got the shield at each. The horse is 10 points, and the lance and shield are 5 points. I'd almost be tempted to take him fully kitted out. I don't think you can take the banner and a lance at the same time, but that with the horse and lance, it makes him incredibly killy because it gets the +1 to wound.
If you've got the points there and you can squeeze it all in, then do it, because Boromir with a lance is insane.
Yeah.
I was with you, the thought about him not being able to take a lance with the banner, but I can't see anything.
I don't know if that's in the lance or the banner rules or something like that.
It could be, yeah. But it's slightly different than a normal banner, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does anyone know that who's watching? Can Boromir take a lance and the banner? Because I know he doesn't get a -1.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. That's part of the Banner of Minas Tirith.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments below if that's the case. I'd be really interested to see.
So the Banner of Minas Tirith, is a banner with a range of 6 inches. So again, it's got that 12-inch bubble like Aragon's got. Additionally, Boromir and all friendly Gondor warrior models, so that doesn't apply to heroes, it just applies to warriors.
Yeah.
Gain a +1 to their fight value, which is awesome. Note this is cumulative with other bonuses to a model's fight value. Boromir suffers no penalties for carrying the banner of the Minas Tirith.
If it says no penalties, would that mean that he can bring a lance then?
No. He may not carry the banner of Minas Tirith if he is also carrying a lance. So it's either make him killing Boromir or supporting Boromir.
Yeah.
Ooh, which would you go for? I think it depends on the build of the army.
Totally depends on the list. If it's like a hero heavy list, Killy Boromir.
Yeah.
If it's a spammy list, then
you go for the banner. Yeah.
Because even with the banner, he's still a beast.
Yeah. So. Heroic actions wise, he's got heroic strike, heroic strength, and heroic defense,
totally
which what you'd expect from him. I think in my next army, I think I'm going to be using Boromir and Denethor as like my two sort of big heroes. They can both take 15, so you kind of spamming 30 troops there. He is your big hitter. You keep Denethor in the back, just as your leader. He's not losing his mind.
He can do what he's sort of been designed to do. Just
exactly. Yeah. And you're not. Yeah, you would be worried. You'd be gutted to lose him, but you're not worried about him as being your army leader and then losing him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's defense 6. He's got the option for a shield, so he'd be defense 7.
Yeah.
So he's pretty hardy anyway.
Yeah.
He's got 3 attacks. He's got the Horn of Gondor. He's got 6 might. It's like you said. You're not going to worry too much about throwing him in, and you shouldn't be. It's Boromir. He's just like an awesome warrior. So that is a profile that I am looking forward to using.
Yeah. He's on my
really
painting table at the moment.
Yeah,
he is indeed.
I've like most of the stuff. I've got him painted and mounted, but I've acquired another version of each. I want to repaint him because I painted them a long time ago. He's actually all right, the paint job on him, but I want to repaint him.
It's that banner I'm not looking forward to.
No,
it's great, but
I'm doing gambling at the minute, and I've kind of avoided putting the thing on. It's really annoying.
I hope they redo gambling with a textured banner.
I think they should just release some transfers like they do for Space Wolves and Space
cheaper
Marines.
way of doing it.
Yeah. Just, come on, Games Workshop.
Sort it out.
Some transfers.
Sort out
the rings. So,
where we move on to Faramir next? Because again,
that
kind of completes the family then.
Yep, and then we've got to go back to...
We'll go back to
Mr. Tuck.
Picking for life. Next one is Faramir, Captain of Gondor. So he is 80 points, which I believe he was 70 last time.
He was 70 last time.
But he has gained a point of... What was it? Point of will and a point of courage. So he's now courage 6, and he's got 3 will. So he's fight 5, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 6, 3 might, 3 will, and 2 fate.
Yeah. So he's gained a will and he's gained a courage. So he's paid 5 points each for them, which is standard.
Yeah, makes sense. War gear. He's a hero of valor, so he can take 15.
Yeah.
War gear wise, he's got an armor and sword, so which represents him in his kind of ranger garb, I guess.
Yeah.
His options, he's got a lot of options. For me, I'll go through the options first, but he's got armoured horse for 15 points, regular horse for 10 points, he's got a bow for 5 points, heavy armour for 5 points, lance for 5 points, and a shield for 5 points.
Yeah.
He's like a Swiss Army knife, isn't he?
He is.
You can build him.
He was my go-to hero for
too.
Gondor. Because at base level, he's not naff, but he's very mid-range, and you can turn him into a bit of a tank.
Yeah.
Just by equipping him, and that's what I did. And I think it worked out. Was it 100 points you paid last time before? Something like that. And you'd have him, and he'd be like defense 8 or something like that.
Defense 7 because he gets the heavy armor, he gets the shield.
Yeah.
You take the lance,
armored horse,
armored horse, and he's just he's tearing through your rank and file. Then
he's got 3 might.
Yeah.
He's only got 2 attacks, but that's the price you pay for a mid-range over a top tier hero.
Yeah, but that's the difference. He's half the price of Boromir basically.
Yeah.
Heroic actions wise, he's got heroic resolve, heroic accuracy, heroic strike, and heroic defense.
So he's got strike.
Yep.
So he can still take on the big heroes.
It's a good one. Heroic accuracy, I think seems to be taking people are using it a bit more than they ever used to. And he's got the woodland creature special rule as well, which is quite cool. And his last special rule is there a captain here who still has the courage to do his lord's will? Faramir will do anything, even forsaking his own life, in order to win the approval of his father. If Denethor is part of the same army as Faramir, then Faramir will automatically pass all courage tests he is forced to make whilst Denethor is alive and on the battlefield. Great. However, whilst Denethor is on the battlefield, Faramir must always charge an enemy model if he's able to do so.
So he's trying to get across that thing where he's always trying to impress his father.
Yeah.
And, It's one of those themey special rules that just add something else to it.
Yeah.
I think it makes it tough for him.
I wouldn't take Faramir and Denethor in the same army anymore. Whereas they were both two of my kind of go-to heroes. I wouldn't take them both anymore because it just makes him too much of a loose cannon. You know, he's got to charge, and actually, if you've got him on horse, like we were saying that you probably would, he is quite. If you've got him in a line of troops,
you get
on
priority,
horse,
and you've got to charge, and then you get counter charge.
Yeah. Well, you charge him in. Your warriors can't keep up with him. I think there's a lot. You could do it, but I think that you're going to have to position him and play with him a lot more carefully than you would have done before. You've got
to really think about your placement, even when your lines are not about to meet. You've got to really think about sort of making it so that your warriors are stopping him from charging. Yeah. Until you want him to, but at the same time, they've got to be in a position where they can open up and he can charge.
If you want to get them a move off or something like that, then yeah.
But still a very good profile.
Still great profile, but as I say, I probably just wouldn't take them both together.
No, I agree.
That's just
I totally agree. But yeah, really good profile.
Cool. So we'll go back one. Because we've covered off with the family now. So Peregrine Took, Guard of the Citadel. So
it will become apparent why we've gone back to Peregrine Took.
Yeah.
In
so
a
we want to
second.
keep like the family sort of together.
Yeah.
So Peregrine Took, Guard of the Citadel is 25 points.
Same.
Yeah. He is movement 4 inches, as all hobbits are.
Yeah.
Fight 3, strength 2, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 4, and he's 1 might, 1 will, 2 fate.
Exactly the same.
He's got an armor and a dagger. He's got the option for an elven cloak.
Okay.
For 5 points.
Yeah.
You had that before?
He did.
Yeah.
He's got an extra option as Guard of the Citadel in the old rules, which he hasn't got anymore, which is he could have took a pony for 5 points and now he cannot.
But that's in the Shire list, he can do that, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was in the...
Yeah.
Because that's a different profile, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So he can't take a pony anymore.
No. So special rules he's got is a resistance to magic and throw stones, which are range 8 and strength 1.
Yeah.
Heroic actions, he's got access to heroic defense, which makes sense because obviously he's very survivable and or there were times in the book and the films where he was sort of holding his own, I guess.
Yeah.
Would you include him? He's an independent hero, so he can't lead anybody.
He can't lead him. He can whack him in. It depends. I kind of see profiles like this as someone who you can use alongside another hero and get off that heroic move without using the store of your main hero. Would I take him for theme and for fun? Yes.
Yeah,
I took him in that list with Gandalf the White just because it was cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, why not? Why not?
Would you stick an elven cloak on him?
If I had 5 points spare, most of the warriors are over 5 points. So if I was at the end of my list building, I had 5 points, I'd whack one on him, just for the hell of it.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I think it's a cool little profile.
Yeah, cool. I love that model as well. You've done a little helmetless one, haven't you?
Yeah, Games Workshop have ripped me off because they've gone and made it.
They've gone and made it. Yeah.
Mine's better though. I've said it on Heroes Games. Mine's well better.
Debatable. Cool. So next hero is Beregond, Guard of the Citadel. He has 30 points, so I believe he's gone up.
So he's gone up by 5 points.
He is fight 4, strength 4, defense 6, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 4, and 1/1/1.
Exactly.
And he's a minor hero.
Yep, exactly the same profile.
He's got access to heavy armor, sword, and longbow.
Yep.
And he's got heroic accuracy. He's got access to a horse for 5 points, which I believe has gone down because he was 10 points before.
It was 6 points.
6 points.
It was an odd number for a hero.
Yeah, it was a bit of an odd one.
Yeah.
He, for me, again, was a bit of an auto include in a Gondor Horde army previously because he could take 12 warriors, but being a minor hero now, he's only taking 6.
Yeah.
I know we've had this conversation before. Would you take him over You know, a hero that's got potentially 3 might. I don't know. He has got bodyguard though, so that's good for charging.
But yeah, bodyguard's a good rule. He's got basically an elf bow.
Yeah.
And he's got that 1 point of might. Again, it's 30 points. You know, if you look at the profile we just spoke about, Pippin.
Yeah.
There's only 5 points less.
Yeah.
And it's a much stronger profile.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, fight 4, strength 4 with the 1 point of might. It's just that he can't lead a lot, but then Pippin can't lead a lot.
Yeah, well, he can't lead at all. But I just don't think, you know, with this profile, he's not doing an awful lot when he's on the table. He is just there to. Previously, for me, he was almost just like a warrior caddy rather than anything.
For me, he's the kind of. I'd probably use him in a small force of bowmen.
Yeah, to lead Citadel Guard archers.
Yeah, that would just sit at the back. You know, and he'd just move around with him. Put him on the horse in case it ever did come to combat. He's got that extra dice for the charge. But yeah, he's not as good as he was, but I could still see a place for him.
Yeah. Next one.
Yeah.
Madril, Captain of Ithilien.
I love this profile.
Yeah, I think he's really cool. He's 55 points.
Same.
Fight 4, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage. 3 might, 1 will, 1 fate.
Yeah.
He's got armor, sword, and a bow.
Yep.
He's got access to heroic march and heroic accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
His special rule, master of ambush. So in scenarios where you roll for additional force to arrive, such as those that use the reinforcement rule, you may modify the reinforcement roll for Madril's warband by +1 or -1.
Mm-hmm.
So if Madril is already on the board, then all warbands from this army list may also modify the reinforcement rolls by +1 or -1. In scenarios where you roll to see which part of the board your warband deploys in, you may modify the dice roll by +1 or -1. So that's really cool.
Brilliant rule.
Maelstrom deployment is just one of those really frustrating ones, isn't it? Because it can
How
make
many
or
times
break you.
have you used a point of might to change your roll?
Yeah.
And you just straight away puts you on a downer for the scenario
because you're just like, I'm
just
already
wasted that might.
And you know, sometimes if you roll badly, you end up using 2 or 3 points of might to make sure that you do get on in the right
Everyone's
places.
Together. Yeah.
I've even rolled mighted down at times to roll a 1.
Yeah. So you don't come on. Yeah.
So that you don't come on, but then
you roll badly.
You roll a 2 or a 3, and you can end up just spending a lot of might before you even do anything.
Yeah.
Whereas that, you know, you deploy him first, and then everybody else you've already got. Basically, a free might
you deploy him first. You get the rule anyway, so you sort of get to choose where you want him to come on, and then after that fact, you can make sure everyone comes together, or where you want him to be anyway.
Yeah.
He's got 3 might as well.
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about earlier. You know, 55 points. He's bringing more might to the table than Baragon. Plus, he's a hero of fortitude, so he's bringing 12 along with him.
Yeah.
So I think he's really cool.
And his actions, march, and accuracy really sort of. They tie in with his ranger
definitely
profile. Really good. Really like that profile. It is one of my favourites in the list, and I will use it quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree with you. So next one is Damrod, Ranger of Ithilien, and he's 25 points, I believe.
He's gone up by 5. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So he's fight 4, strength 4, defense 5, 1 attack, 1 wound, 4 courage, and 1 might, will, and fate.
Exactly the same.
He's got armor, sword, and bow, and he's got heroic accuracy. He's also got woodland creature, which is quite cool. Again, he suffers the same as Baragon, I think, in this edition. You might take him, but again, just to lead some a little group of rangers or something.
Force or something. Yeah.
But I think there are other better options out there as far as heroes go.
I mean, it's a toss up between if it was him or Baragon. Who would you go for?
I'd probably go for Baragon because of bodyguard.
Bodyguard, yeah.
And the stronger bow because he's got the strength 3 bow.
That's true.
So I think and better defense.
So out of the 2, Baragon's definitely up there
for me anyway. Yeah. I think thematically, if you're going for a bit of a ranger force, I'd probably or an Oscalia type force. You'd probably
he's cheaper than Baragon, so I think it depends how much you want the bodyguard rule in there.
Yeah.
And I think the bodyguard rule. But saying that, the bodyguard rule for Gondor or Minas Tirith isn't as. It's still great, but it's not as good as it was because now of their army bonus.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, it depends. You might want them 5 points elsewhere.
Yeah.
suppose. But yeah, both still good, but not as good as they were.
Cool. So next one is Kieran, Lieutenant of Amon Barad. So he's 55 points. I think he was before as well.
Exactly
wasn't he?
the same.
I think his profile's the same. Fight 4, Strength 4, Defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage. Might 3, Will 1, and Fate 1.
Yeah, he's got better at shooting.
Yeah,
but he can't shoot.
Hasn't got a bow. He's got armor, sword, and shield.
Yeah.
He's got heroic resolve, and heroic strike. So for me, he is almost my second hero because of the heroic strike. So none of the other sort of minor heroes have got heroic strike.
I really liked him anyway. Yeah, and I'm glad that it's followed through in that vein.
Yeah,
he's a sort of he's the kind of hero that makes you think, oh, what about Kyrian?
Yeah, exactly.
How do I get Kyrian in here?
Yeah. He's got a special rule called Boldest of the Bold. Kieran is utterly sure of his abilities and is often far too reckless when charging into the fray. When charging an enemy that causes terror, Kieran receives +2 bonus to his courage value. Additionally, Kieran receives a +2 to his courage when models with the blades of the dead spectral will make strikes against him. So it's situational, but that takes him up to basically defense 6 against.
If you want to tie down a fell beast, easy man.
Absolutely.
If you get the army bonus, he becomes courage 7.
Yeah.
It's highly unlikely you're going to fail, and you've got 3 might in case you do.
Yeah.
So
he's good.
He's really good.
You can chuck him in, and especially with strike as well. For me, he's like as you say, fell beast killer, troll killer.
Yeah.
Because you've got your 3 might to heroic strike with him if you got some other guys in with him, or at least to tie him down for a turn or 2.
Yeah. He's brilliant.
I think he's cool.
Yeah. Really like that.
Next one, Knight of the White Tower, 60 points. So he gone
5 points more.
Yeah. So he is Fight 5, Strength 4, Defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, Courage 4.
Same.
2 might, 1 will, and 1 fate. So I think he's gone up.
He's got an extra might.
Yeah.
So he's paid the 5 points for the extra might.
Makes sense. He's got heavy armor, dagger, and white sword of Gondor. So the white sword of Gondor. A white sword of Gondor is a 2-handed sword. Additionally, strikes made with this weapon may have the mighty blow special rule. So what's the mighty blow special rule?
The mighty blow special rule. Let's have a look. His rule used to be that 1 wound was 2.
Yeah.
So live.
That was like Thrydan, wasn't it? Thrydan had the mighty blow.
So mighty blow. 105. Luckily, I've got both books on the table. Yes, so it's the same. For each strike that successfully wounds in close combat, this model inflicts 2 wounds rather than 1.
So cool against multi-wound models. So trolls.
Yeah. So as far as resisting it with fate, if it's a hero, you still roll 1 fate.
Yeah.
It's just if it gets through, that 1 wound becomes 2.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. In fact, that's really good. Yeah.
He's got access to heroic strike. So again, taking out trolls, big
at Fight 5,
big stuff. Yeah. So I think at Fight 5, he's got a good chance of
he's putting a dent in things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's got a special rule called the Blade Lord skill. If a Knight of the White Tower scores a natural roll of a 6 in a dual roll, he does not apply the penalty for using a 2-handed weapon. So that makes him quite cool. So if he gets the 6, which is what you want, he doesn't have the -1, but he gets the +1, which
I was kind of watching a discussion. I think it was on the GBHL group about this, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, but it's a 1 in 6 chance here, but you've got 2 attacks."
Yeah.
So obviously that increases the chance. I don't know if it doubles it. I'm not sure how it works with sort of how things roll, but you've got 2 attacks. I don't think it's something that I'd play for with the aim of I need to roll a 6.
It's more of a nice to have.
If it happens, great.
Yeah, but, definitely. I think he's quite a cool little profile. I'd be more tempted to take him now, especially now that he's got the 2 might. I think with the 1 might, he was probably and he's a hero of fortitude as well, so he can lead 12.
Well, his old profile, 1 might.
Yeah.
Yes, he had the sort of two wounds for 1 rule, but again, that is more situational. Then you've got Madrid who had 3 points of might for the same amount of points.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas now it's put him up there with the others. He is something that you could whack in. He's a hero of fortitude, which leads
12.
Was he independent last time?
No, he could lead.
He could
last
lead.
time, yeah.
All right, okay. But yeah, I think he's a lot more viable now.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd definitely think about putting him in just for a bit of fun, and the model's cool.
Yeah, he is really cool.
So
Really cool.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of the two generic heroes. So King of Men, 60 points.
Same.
Fight 5, Strength 4, Defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 5 Courage, 2/2/1, like more Fate. Again, these are a bit of a Swiss Army knife, aren't they? Because you can kit them up how you want to. You've got the access to armoured horse, heavy armour, lance, shield. They've already got armour and sword. I've never used any of these. And
I did once. I did a conversion, but the only reason I use them is because I wanted to do a conversion.
Yeah,
that was it.
There is a note here as well by the designers. The models are ideal not only to represent the past kings of Gondor, but also the stewards that ruled Gondor in their stead. So that's, it's to give them a bit more theme, I guess. But also, Kings of Men may not be included in an army that contains any other named Gondor hero model. So you can use captains or Kings of Men. I think that limits them quite a lot.
It does limit them. I think you're going to see lists with them in it that are maybe sub 450 points.
Yeah.
Just so people can max them out. And like you say, they are sort of a cheaper Faramir.
Yeah,
because of all the options that they have.
Yeah,
because they're still quite good heroes.
Well, they've pretty much got the same profile as Faramir. One less courage, one less might.
Yeah.
They're all right, I guess, but they're nothing special for me. They've got heroic march and heroic defense.
They are going to be for them lists where people look back into the lore. And this is going to be such and such.
Ecthelion or something like that. So yeah, you can recreate that. And then you've got Captain of Minas Tirith.
Yeah,
50 points. Fight 4, Strength 4, Defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 Courage, 2/1/1.
Same.
Heavy armor and shield, access to heroic march. Options are horse, bow, lance, and shield. They've got a special which is shield wall. In the new version, I probably wouldn't take captains unless you work into huge point values. I think there are so much better.
The only thing that makes him desirable is his shield wall rule for me.
Yeah, but which would take him up to defense 8 if he's got.
It depends. Again, it totally depends on the list that you're building. I understand what you're saying, and I agree.
Yeah.
To an extent that there's so much better heroes you can take for them points. But I think there is a place for him because of that. If he didn't have the shield wall special rule, I would sort of say now you will never see a captain of Minas Tirith. Whereas I think because he's got that.
Do you think people would take them just for the heroic march?
I mean, a heroic march is in good lists is there quite a lot.
Yeah,
quite a few heroes have got it. And I think all the captain profiles have got heroic march, which they should. It's kind of like they're leading their forces on. My reason for bringing him would be the shield wall rule. If I was bringing like a spam Warriors of Minas Tirith, just that he's also in there with that rule.
Yeah, true. And making him quite survivable, I guess.
Yeah, and like heroic moves. But yeah, he seems quite expensive for a captain because you've got such sort of bargain heroes in there.
For 5 points more, you're getting Kyrian, who's got 3 might and special, and Madril, who he hasn't got the high defense, but again he's got the extra point of might, and it just makes.
Yeah. It totally depends what you want to do with your force. I think there's a place for him. Without shield wall, I don't think there is.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll move on to the Warriors. We'll fly through the Warriors, and then we'll get into the comments, and we'll have a little bit of a chat with you about what we spoke about. So Warrior of Minas Tirith,
pretty much the same profile. They've got loads of options. Should we just sort of skip through and just
skip through them? Yeah.
So we've got special rule, which is shield wall. So basically, as long as they're in base contact with 2 others, they get +1 to the defense. So a Warrior of Minas Tirith with a shield basically goes up to defense 7.
Yeah.
Which against strength 4 means that they have to roll 6s, which makes them that much more survivable.
Brings them sort of in line with the current sort of profile that you're coming up against.
And it shows that they're a bit more of a disciplined warrior and stuff like that as well. So quite cool. Next one is Knight of Minas Tirith.
Same profile,
yeah,
pretty much.
13 points. I've never had much luck taking a lot of them, but I think if you take a couple just to grab objectives and stuff like that, you know, the courage 4 because of the army bonus and stuff makes some of that a little bit more kind of lasting, but I think there are better options for that role if you are going to go down that.
What would have been cool with these if the horse got the +1 to defense for the shield wall rule as well?
Yeah,
would have made them much more viable.
like the cataphracts. Yeah, but I think that the shield wall only applies when they're dismounted, doesn't it? It doesn't apply whilst they're on the horse.
Is it?
Yeah.
I wonder why it's there then.
It's for the knight of Minas Tirith, isn't it? Not for the horse.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I assumed if they were in base contact, they get +1.
I think for cataphracts, it states specifically that the horse, it applies to the horse whilst they're on horseback as well.
Interesting.
Ranger of Gondor.
Yeah.
8 points. Access to spear. I think they're pretty much exactly the same as well. I think they're quite cool as part of like an Ascilith force. I think they're 3+ shooting values, great. Strength 2 bows though.
Strength 2 bows. The thing for Rangers for me is it still is the same and always was the same. I'd whack them in as a supporting force to pick off with bowfire and then support and add the fight 4 to your normal warriors in the fights.
They're not your front line. You know, at defense 4, they're dropping like flies, aren't they?
Yeah.
Next one is Citadel Guard. These have had a bit of a change to their profile. So they're 9 points. They've got heavy armor, sword, and spear. They've got access to a horse for 7 points, and they can swap their spear for a longbow for 1 point. So I always used to use these as a spear and bow.
Yeah, like a dual purpose troop.
Yeah, so
and it
you
worked
stick
quite
them in
well.
the back lines. You get the fight 4, plus you've got that strength 3
shooting over the shoulder.
Yeah. Which I thought was great, but they've kind of put the stop to that now. See, you know what we were talking about, like people to go off and grab objectives. I think these are almost you guys to go do that because you stick them on a horse, give them a longbow, and you just send them off, and you know they're defense 5. They're relatively survivable. You just keep them out of the way on objectives.
For me, the spear thing is kind of, they've sort of made them a little bit irrelevant because why would, if they're just going to be a support troop and supporting a front line, why would you pay the extra point? For them over the Ranger of Gondor, because all you'd benefit from them is the fight value.
Bodyguard.
Yeah, I suppose.
So they're hanging around a little bit, but then again, as we've said, you if you've got Gandalf or any of the heroes, even Aragorn. Courage 6, he goes up to courage 7. You've got to be incredibly unlucky. Yeah, I have done it a couple of times, rolled double ones.
Oh yeah,
but,
happens. Yeah,
it's 1 in 36 chance or something like that. Yeah. So it's rare.
But yeah,
so they've been nerfed a little bit.
They've took a nerf, but there's still a place for them. But it's going to be again to be thematic or situational. So onto the guard of the Fountain Court. 10 points, same as they was. They can get a shield for a point, which you would. Yeah, you need to. Heavy armor, dagger, and spear. You can replace the spear with a banner for 25 points. They also have the bodyguard rule. These are basically the reason why you wouldn't take Citadel Guard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You take them with a shield. They got to defense 7. They just last. I've had them sat on objectives, and they just sit there. They add the fight 4 as well because they've got the spear and things like you said a minute ago. Next is the Ascilith Veteran. Yep. Which I'm not the biggest fan of the models, but the profile's got a few quite cool little rules, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't think the profile has changed at all. They've got access to bow, shields, and spear. They've got heavy armor and a sword. Yep. But they are loyal to the captains. So if this model is within 6 inches of either Boromir or Faramir, then this model will receive +1 bonus to its fight value. This is cumulative with other fight value bonuses. So they are currently fight 3. Yep. If you've got Boromir or Faramir with them, they go up to fight 4. Yep. But what if Boromir's got a banner?
Fight 5. Fight 5 for 8 points.
Yeah, that's mint. That is.
It's really good
to elven sort of standards.
Yeah. Straight away, I probably wouldn't go with any bowmen. I'd just give them spears.
Just stick spears on them.
Have that rule. Have them supporting your warriors, Minas Tirith.
Great. I don't think, other than heroes, Minas Tirith have got any access to fight that sort of fight value. So I think they are quite cool. I think we'll see them a bit more now.
The only thing they're missing for me, why haven't they got shield wall?
Oh, they'd just be too strong. They'd be too
but they basically are warriors of Minas Tirith. It's just that they've been warriors for longer than you front line. because what that's going to do is mess up your shield wall rule of your front line, because they're not going to be in base contact with 2.
If you got the front line that are all touching,
so that'd be.
But I suppose it's when they back away and yeah. But
yeah.
But then if
they're still good.
I think they're still,
going up to 5/5 is Elven territory.
Maybe you stick just 4 or 5 in that. You don't have a full back line of them. You put where you really need to win combats, or where you want to make sure that you are making that difference. Because you get up to 5/5, you get the banner reroll from Boromir.
Yeah. So you're gonna have multiple dice anyway, because you're going to be supporting.
Yeah.
Like I say, you got the banner. So yeah, I suppose, like you say, dot a couple in, and then so fights on minor heroes or elves, you stick them in there and leave the rest with the shield wall to fight the rest of the.
Or just to hold themselves together.
Yeah.
Trebuchet.
Yeah, I'm not going to compare these to their old profiles because a lot's changed. It's basically like new stuff. So we'll go through the Trebuchet quick.
Yeah, so it's 80 points.
Yeah.
So these guys now come with like a minor captain, don't they? So they come with 1 might, 1 will, 1 fate. So they are slightly better. 3 crew, I believe. You can buy extra crew for 7 points. You can upgrade your siege veteran to a Minas Tirith engineer captain for 50 points. So what I don't get with that is you're paying 50 points for the extra 1 might.
Well, where does it say they get 1 might, 1 will, 1 fate?
It's in the rule book.
Oh, is it in the rule book?
Don't worry about it now.
Right, okay.
But yeah, they come with that's what the siege veteran is, so they get 1, 1, 1, 1.
Right, okay.
So that's what I felt like that was quite expensive. If you are just adding an extra
upgrade,
an extra 1 point of might for 50 points, it seems like quite a lot. Obviously, the extra point of might make a huge amount of difference.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I've not used it. I've got one painted up, but I haven't actually used it. Yeah.
I've got 2 of them. I've not painted them though.
Just put one on one of the
Generation Shift
bases. Looks wicked. So yeah, I've not used them. I've not had a huge amount of experience with them, so I don't want to sort of comment too much on them. The bolt thrower though, I think they're quite cool.
Yes,
you painted some up.
I've got 2 painted.
Yeah,
just basically to give them a go and see how 2 in a list works, and if it's as good as everyone thinks it is.
Yeah, so basically you roll a dice, and then that's how many shots you've got.
Roll a d6, that's how many shots. We'll just say we're moving on to the bolt thrower.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know enough about the trebuchet. I've not used one.
We'll go through it quickly. So the options are: you can upgrade to an engineer captain for 50 points, which Ben, he's read more about it than I do. I haven't really read the profile for it, but he doesn't seem to think it's worth it, which makes sense. Flaming ammunition, I think, is a must. Additional crew, I think that's just for movement and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Special rules: indirect fire. A trebuchet always fires using the rules for volley fire with a range of 12 inch to 96 inch.
So
in case you want to shoot someone on the next table.
Yeah.
Area of effect: if a trebuchet scores a hit against a battlefield target, all models within 2 inch of the target suffer 1 strength 5 hit and are not prone. That's good.
So battlefield targets are like castles or
yeah. This additional hit does not kill a target outright.
So when they hit a hero, they kill them outright. So I think there is potentially, just from reading, there is a lot of people talking about all hero lists.
Yeah.
If you chuck a couple of those in an all hero list and you outright kill 2 of their heroes before they even get into base contact with you,
that'd be.
Could be
horrible.
Devastating.
Yeah, and then they've got wall breaker. When a trebuchet rolls to wound against a siege target, a battlefield target is a
model. Yeah,
siege target is
walls or doors or something like that.
When a trebuchet rolls to hit wounds against a siege target, the controlling player may roll twice and pick the highest. That's cool. So now onto the bolt thrower, which is the one a lot of people want to hear about. It's a. They call it is it a minor siege weapon or something like that?
Yeah, so it doesn't automatically kill basically when it hits.
It's got slightly different rules.
Yeah.
Crew: an Avenger bolt thrower is a small siege engine and is crewed by 2 warriors of Minas Tirith with heavy armour and sword. One of the crew is automatically the siege veteran. All crew members have the man, Gondor, infantry and warrior keywords, so they benefit from all of them.
So the siege veteran's got 1/1/1.
Right, okay.
So basically, he's a minor hero, so you're taking 25 points off off
Yeah.
your cost,
Yeah.
effectively.
Options are upgrade to Siege Veteran to a Minas Tirith Engineer Captain for 50 points. Again, do I want to pay 50 points to get one
An
point
extra.
of might?
That's how I read it.
Yeah.
I might be wrong on that, so don't.
If we're sort of interpreting that wrong, let us know.
Yeah.
Swift reload.
I think this one's worth it.
Yeah.
So the way it roll, you roll. The rapid fire roll is basically an Avenger Bolt thrower fires D6 shots each turn rather than one. So you could potentially get up to 6 shots, which is great. It's resolved in the same way as a shooting attack, but they're at strength 7. So strength 7 is mint against your bigger stuff. And this means that no scatter is rolled for an Avenger Bolt thrower like you would do for the Trebuchet. It will either hit or miss. Resolve each shot individually, roll into hit and to wound before moving on to the next shot. So basically, it's like having a load of archers.
Yeah.
Shots fired from an Avenger Bolt thrower do not kill targets outright, nor do they knock them to the ground. So on average, you're going to 3-4 shots per turn.
Yeah.
You know, if you compare that, let's say, to having 3 or 4 archers.
Well, let's just say 5. Let's say 5 Rangers.
For the points cost, but I'm thinking if you're rolling a d6, on average you're going to roll a 3 or 4. So you're getting 3 or 4 shots off per turn, hitting on a 4+ at strength 7. I think it's pretty good, and I'd almost be tempted to take that over. You know, you're saying about having a little force of Rangers or something. I'd almost be tempted to take this over that.
Yeah. So each shot, do you roll to hit individually for the 4+?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. It is interesting. I've got to. We'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I've got 2 and the crew painted up, ready to go. Trial by fire. Let's just try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
But that is the end of Minas Tirith list. So let's move into the comments.
Let's have a quick look. So I think we're going back quite a while here. It's cool. So it's working fine. Gandalf the White is a hero of valor.
Yes, he is.
Sure he is. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Good
evening,
guys. Good evening, chat.
Hello, Adam.
So Brit, the banner / lance restriction is at the end of the banner.
Yeah,
we got to that one.
Yeah. Adam
I was
G.
under the impression it's one or the other. I'm guessing that was about the banner and lance again.
Yeah.
You'll read it in a sec. Haha. There it is. Yeah. We got there. Scott W. I'm painting at Boromir too. Excellent. Try to find transfer stencils, but I have no resource to good old fashioned freehand. I'm almost tempted to see if anybody will take on a commission for me, because I want to do a good job of it.
Yeah.
But I know I just won't do it a good job myself. So I'll probably just leave the banner blank until I can find somebody to do a commission for me.
I thought of getting, like the really fine tip sort of for, what is it, calligraphy?
Yeah.
They do like permanent markers, like really fine tip, and drawing it on like with a pen, and then just going over it with paint just to get the outlines and stuff. It's the tree. If it's not perfectly symmetrical, it's going to look odd.
It does look a bit odd.
Glenn Seymour,
just doing paperwork and enjoying the faction review. Are you doing one after Gondor?
No, Gondor was our second. We were just doing 2. I was only going to do 1, but because the Dunharrow army list was so short with only 3 profiles, we thought we'd add Minas Tirith to it.
We've both played a lot of Minas Tirith.
Yeah, I used to play Minas Tirith a lot, and Ben is pretty much your go-to force. And has been since you got back into the hobby. So we thought we'd give it a whirl, and it tied in with Dunharrow as well.
Yeah.
So we won't be doing another one after this. We're gonna have a little chat about what we spoke about, and then we'll be around on Wednesday, Glyn, for laughs and giggles, and hopefully no more hashtags.
Rothdam White Scars. I think that was Jerome, wasn't it? Just doing some editing work. I had some problem with some files that had the same name, so in the end I had to edit again. Hopefully it will now finish correctly. Excellent. Glenn Seymour, veterans with shield wall would make Minas Tirith warriors redundant. Yeah, it would, because they're the same.
Yeah, I suppose.
You'd just take them.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Joe Holzman, if I read it correctly, you're also paying for the ability to buy other options and to take a warband of 12. That is true. Yeah. I didn't think of that. So
Yeah.
you'd want to have somebody in to
Yeah.
protect you. Warband of 12 and include warriors. When you buy the upgrade to the engineer
Yeah.
captain, that makes sense. I never thought of that. So
Joe,
thanks
if
for
you lot
that.
come and sit in Ben's seat
Yeah.
anytime, you're more
Please,
you're more than
teach
welcome.
me. Rithbrit, agree with Glyn. Fight 5 veterans with the Boromir banner effect. Spear sporting fight 4 Minas Tirith warriors with shield wall. Sounds like a great grindy force on paper.
Yeah, sounds grim.
Absolutely. Nathaniel Sinclair, Avenger or 5 and a bit ranges to add shooting to your list.
Avenger or 5 and a bit ranges, which would you go for?
I'd probably go for the Avenger.
I go for the Avenger. If you were going to use those rangers just as a shooting contingent to your force, then I'd go for the bolt thrower, because high defense for a start, up to 6 shots,
Yeah.
strength 7. So
Yeah.
so that
So the strength,
outshoots the rangers straight off the bat.
there's nothing more frustrating than having the strength 2 bows, which is great, but you're hitting 2/3 of the time, great.
Yeah.
But once you get through, or you take your in the ways or whatever, and then that strength 2 does nothing.
Yeah.
Even then you're needing 5s or in most cases 6s to wound the majority of stuff with strength 2. Whereas with a strength 7, you are hitting half the time on a 4+, but that strength 7 is doing more damage and can do damage to bigger things.
Has anyone who's watching, has anyone played using or played against the Avenger bolt thrower? And if you have, what did you think of it? Did you think it was any good? I think they look awesome on paper, but obviously I'll have to try them and see how they go. Reese Taylor says, can you buff the Gondor captain roll to a 6 with a point of might, or does it have to be a natural roll of a 6 for the fight value with the mighty blow?
Oh, that's for the Knight of the White Tower.
For the Knight of the White Tower, can you buff?
No, I think it has to be a natural 6.
It has to be a natural 6.
I'm just writing out the rules so that.
Nathaniel says, while you check,
natural 6.
Yeah, natural 6. Nathaniel says, I've used an Avenger, hit and miss with the number of shots, but the might is nice. That's why I was thinking of 2, because it seems cheap.
Yeah.
For 50 points, it seems cheap. So I was thinking of trying 2 out.
You can add the swift reload, which is you can roll.
You roll 2 dice and pick the
and
highest.
then you pick the highest.
Yeah.
So that can be quite.
How much is swift reload?
20 points, I think it is. Swift reload is 20 points.
20 points. I think it's worth it.
Because then you can potentially, that would be another 2 and a bit.
If you re-roll, oh no, you roll them both at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not a re-roll.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go less.
No.
Yeah. So it's always going to be the highest. Yeah.
So I think if you could get an extra.
Well, I don't know. Then that makes it 70 points. At 70 points, I'm sort of second guessing whether to bring it.
Let's try it out.
Yeah.
Let's try it out.
We'll give it a go and see how it goes. What's the smallest force you'd take a trebuchet in? What's the price for the trebuchets?
80 points without any upgrades. I've seen people use it in like 600 points.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it in less than 600. I think the thing with siege engines is because you automatically want to get everything in your list. That's how I feel sometimes. Like, right, how do I get Aragorn in it? How do I get Gandalf in it? How do I get two?
And all of a sudden you're left with like 20 points left.
And you've got like 3 warriors.
Yeah.
So I think the trick to it is if you want to go down the route of siege engines is to have the minor heroes, maybe have Faramir or Denethor.
The battle cry trebuchet is using volley fire, so you can fire over your stuff. You're not having to. So you want to protect that because that is doing a lot of your killing of your big nasties that you're coming up against. So you want to make sure that they're dead before they get to you.
So so siege engines and cheap spam, so you can get your numbers up. Rangers and warriors with Minas Tirith, because then you can back up your warriors with the rangers. You've got your fight 4. The only thing that you might come up against there is the bow limit, which might restrict how many rangers you have. But then you just whack in a few Citadel Guard then or something.
Citadel Guard or Guards of Fountain Court.
Guards of Fountain Court, yeah.
Or even you go for veterans if you're taking Faramir.
Yeah.
So some good options there.
Glenn says pray for LSR fight 7.
Is he 5'7"? Do you think he's
5'6", 5'6", isn't he? Or are you saying you want him to be 5'7"?
5'6".
I don't think he needs to be 5'7". He's got that 3-point of might. He's got access to heroic strike.
I think he's a beast anyway.
I don't think. I think you're playing the game wrong if you're in a fight with LSR and you think, "Oh, I wish I had a higher fight value."
Something's gone really wrong if you're doing that. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe Glyn. You never know. I can't see it.
What fight value is the Troll Chieftain? Is he 5'7"?
He's in there, isn't he?
Okay. I thought you might just know.
Troll Chieftain. I want to say 7. I want to say 7. This is interesting viewing.
Yeah. What? Just read books.
Is he in? What's he in now? Because he's not in Mordor.
Is he in
Isengard?
Barad-dûr, maybe.
Mordor Troll. Mordor Troll's 5'7".
Mordor Troll Chieftain, he is 5'7". So again, that's quite reminiscent of that fight at the Black Gate where Aragorn was losing to him. But then, and both of them have got access to heroic strike. So
that's horrible.
That is. But then, how often do you see a Mordor Troll Chieftain?
Not very. But a troll with might is scary. That's why Barad-dûr is so good, because you've got access to the brutal power attacks.
Yeah. Plus
and you've got already got the high fight value. It's grim. But yeah, I don't think. Let's have a look. Troll Chieftain is 7.
Yeah,
and beat him in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Just exactly what we just said.
Because he heroic struck.
Yeah.
See the Avenger in match against Harad. He managed to strip 5 wounds off Mama, killing 5 turns with it before it was destroyed. Elendil is 5'7" and strength 5. Just thought Aragorn should be stronger. Yeah, but I think Elendil was a mightier hero. I mean, Elendil.
He's more pure Númenórean.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
he's like his bloodline's closer to being Númenórean. Yeah, I think that's what how they're going with it.
Yeah. Which makes sense. It's
yeah. I think they've got to make Elendil desirable.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to
and Elendil is immense. I think someone mentioned about an all-hero list with Elendil, Isildur,
and
Gil-galad, and was it Celeborn or something?
Yeah,
something minging like that. But yeah, Troll Chieftain in the champion scenario is just rude. Yeah,
it is.
What's that? Plus Basil is a free heroic combat and +1 to wound. What's Basil? I don't know what Basil is.
I think it's maybe Elendil, because I think he's got a free heroic combat per turn. I don't think that's Basil. I've missed that profile. He's
Basil Fawlty. Yeah, is he in the Minas Tirith list?
We're not covering off Númenor now, but yeah, he has got. Where is it? Where is it? I'm sure he's got.
That's Elendil. Is it
Isildur? I can't remember.
Is it the army special rule?
Nope. Oh, there we go. It's the Narsil, not Basil.
Yeah.
That was it. We got there eventually. It's a Master Forged hand and a half sword. Additionally, Elendil may call heroic combat each turn without expending might. So that is quite cool.
Yeah. Scarton says Nathaniel Troll Chieftain will very rarely be your leader. That's true, but it totally depends on your build and how you're doing. I mean, you might think I think we're going to see a lot of things like that where it might be the Troll Chieftain and then just loads of chaff. So you've got like that big, just like monster
because
hero.
He's in the Mordor list, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But Mordor reroll ones if you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
So actually, I think we will see potentially one big meaty hero, and the rest will be just chaff. You know, just to bulk out the list.
Yeah. And I purposely take only the Chieftain, a Ring Wraith, and a Captain at 500 points, about 40 bodies. Yeah, that's not a bad list. That's a good list.
40 bodies as well for at that point. Level's good.
Glenn said, just thought with all the Fight 6 in the meta and the way Aragorn is unscathed at the Battle of Pelennor Fields, I had a fool's hope. I think it would make him too good, Glyn. Then I'd have to take something away from his profile.
Well, I think he's got Fight 6. He's got Heroic Strike. He's got the Elven elven-made weapons, so actually he's winning tied combat. So actually, I think the problem you've got is almost like this arms race of people where actually there isn't any benefit to take him. What we're trying to say. You've got to almost have a bit of a cap for men. Otherwise, I think it almost happened with The Hobbit a little bit, where like you've got Bolg. I think he's fight 6, but Azog is fight 7, and he just tanks through everything and things. Hopefully that might be redressed.
If Aragorn was fight 7, that's all you'd see at tournaments in good lists. Aragorn would be the and people would be working out what's the best thing to ally into LSR. That'd be it, and that's the reason why. And I think the profile's all right as it is. I think he's got heroic strike. He's got 3 point of might every turn, and he's got 3 in the store. I think he's fine. Nathaniel Sinclair says, what Gondor Force? There was a question above Nathaniel.
Yeah, there's a couple here. So Glyn, just thought with all the fight 6 in the meta and the way Aragorn is unscathed at the Battle of Pelennor Fields, I had a full type. We covered that one. Scarton, large siege engines are pretty broken against War Beast. I bet they are actually, because they automatically kill, as you can only scatter to the beast itself when you hit a crew member, which means you insta kill it. So actually, you don't even aim for the War Beast. You go for some on the crew.
Well, hoping it's still in the way though, isn't it? Do you roll off?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you do. I'm not sure about
that. But yeah, I think because a direct hit is on a 6, which you're assuming that you're not going to get, so you aim for one of the crew. And then it scatters. So
it can only hit the War Beast. It is. But I suppose if you got hit by a trebuchet, it is going to hurt.
It is going to kill
the shooting part of a castle like you, so it's going to sting.
Nathaniel Sinclair, what Gondor Force would you take to accompany Army of the Dead as allies? What complements them well? I think we covered this a little bit earlier. I'm really tempted to take LSR and Warriors of Minas Tirith with Spear and Shield. Maybe scattering a few Guards of the Fountain Court just to buff the fight value, but for me, you've got that really, really tough front line. You've got the shield wall for the guys behind. If you've got people shooting at them because they are in base contact with 2 other people. You've got the banner reroll from Aragorn, from LSR. I think that would be quite a strong.
I'd be looking at if it was trying to be competitive, I'd be looking at backing up the Army of the Dead with something that's got a spear that can get me to fight force or rangers or citadel guard. With LSR, the bump to fight value is the banner, isn't it? Yeah. So I'd scrap that. I think the highest fight value for warriors you're gonna wish for getting is gonna be fight 4. So anything that gets your front line, you basically your fights up to fight 4. So you're beating like the normal orcs and stuff like that, and goblins, and Gundabad orcs. Fight 3, strength 4,
But again, like we discussed in the first part of the video, you're still getting to pick and choose, because provided they can't get round to your back line, you're still picking and choosing where the fights and when the fights happen. And you've got that continuous store of might for of might from LSR. So that's what I want to try.
I'd go Rangers for the shooting, because I'd be interested to find out how a couple of rounds of effective shooting from your Rangers, sort of whittling down the enemy before you clash, and then clashing with the Army of the Dead, being able to pick where the fights are going, being able to sort of command the battlefield as to where the fights happen, when they happen, who you're going to outnumber, and easily picking off warriors with Army of the Dead. I think. I'd be really interested to see how that would go. How thematic it is, not so sure, but it depends what you want.
See, I'm just going for theme, you say. So
there you go.
If Andura was Master Forge, that's cheese. Basically, Azog's rule. Lol, cheese.
Yeah.
Can the Dead use Aragorn's banner reroll?
Yep.
Can they?
All friendly models, it says. That's the wording. All friendly models within 6. So yes, they can.
Friendly models within 6. Yes, you are right.
You didn't believe me.
Oh. No, I thought it was just Gondor, but you're right. I shouldn't doubt you, really.
Glenn says too much cheese.
Yeah.
Raphael says how to start Lord of the Rings with Isengard.
Have you got an Isengard video up yet?
I'm not sure if we have done. I don't think we have done the Isengard faction review, But I think you've got an Isengard list.
I have, yeah. I haven't used it at all with the new rules though.
I mean, Isengard still stands up in the new rules, like very well because
some of the 6.
Yeah, it's a good. You can't go wrong with Isengard. You could go basic all troops, maybe Lurtz, normal captains.
I think for me, Lurtz is your auto include now.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't take the captains because I think there are slightly better options. I think Vrasku's still good. He's got 2 crossbow shots. Crossbows are great. So
Saruman.
Max out on your crossbows.
Saruman
at what, 600 points?
Saruman.
Yeah, and Grima.
Saruman, Grima, either Lurtz or Vrasku, depending on the points value. You can get both in, great, but then just max out on troops.
I think for me, like we were talking about the Maelstrom deployment earlier, Lurtz just negates that entirely. You know, you deploy your army and then you just bring him on last where you need him. With a hefty chunk of warriors, and he just takes care of whatever you need to. Where you know, how often have you deployed a warband that is completely isolated and you just think, I really want to deploy over there. That negates that entirely. So for me, I think Lurtz is for 500 points, Lurtz, Vrasku, and then max out on crossbows and warriors. Still take some berserkers, I say.
Well, I was going to say, if you've not played Isengard before, if it's like if you're starting off, I personally would probably go down the route that Ben's just said, but I'd start off with normal warriors, Urukai warriors in your warbands, max them out as best you can. Maybe a few crossbows, like get your pikes in there. Saruman, I'm not too sure. Depends how fluent you are with the rules and magic and stuff. But then just start adding. That's the beauty of Isengard. As you get used to using it, just start adding things into it because it's got a lot of options and it can do a lot of the good stuff in the game.
Yeah, well,
it's hard hitting. And
it's the fight 4, strength 4, defense 6 of your basic warriors. They with a couple of pikes and a banner.
Yeah, get a banner.
Great.
Yeah, get a banner.
I think the mistake that I see a lot of people coming into the game at the moment, I think it applies to not just Isengard but to Eastlings as well, is because they've got pikes, they think that they need to keep them in that phalanx, and that is such a huge mistake because you're easily surrounded because you tend to have a very short front line. But that's what I see everybody saying, like, what formations do you put them in? You say, don't stick to a formation. It's a fluid game. Everybody acts independently.
If you're putting all your thoughts into trying to keep formation, you're going to get unstuck because you're just going to forget other things. Remember to play the scenario. A lot of the scenarios will split your force up anyway.
So don't rely on everybody being in that block.
If you can get them in a pike formation, great, fantastic for a turn or two. But generally, you just want to make sure that you're adding as many dice to each individual fight as possible, and if that means splitting up, then split up.
And you use shielding as well, like if you've got one warrior that is outnumbered, just shields. Don't worry about fighting.
Yeah.
Riders of the Dead or Knights of Minas Tirith.
Well, you're going to get two knights for every rider. But whenever I played knights, they've not done anything significant in the games and they've died from bowfire.
And kind of what as I said earlier, there are better options. So I think the Citadel Guard on a horse with a bow are probably going to be a better option than.
It's the lance, isn't it? People are drawn to the lance, which if you can get them into combat, great. But then it very rarely happens.
The moment that they just tend to drop like flies the moment that you lose that priority and you don't get the charge.
Their target priority as soon as you put them on the board. If someone's got bowfire, that's what they're going to shoot at because that's the thing that they're most scared of charging into them. So they're going to shoot them, and they're a pretty easy target with like just normal horses like defense 4, even with a strength 2 bow. They're killing them on 5s. So I'd go Riders of the Dead just for that. For that sake. But by all means, try both and let us know how you get on.
Yeah. Ryan Wood, sweet, saves a dead banner, so that's Aragon's friendly. Yeah, absolutely. Glyn,
unless your line
you got so
is 18
many
inches.
Glyn, looking forward to building a Harad and Fiefdom's army. Already got Gondor and Dunharrow. Excellent. Reese Taylor, have you done an army review on Eastlings yet?
We've not done, but keep your eye out on the channel because it will be coming. Probably Jay and Sam might do that one because I'm not overly clued up on Easterlings. I'm building an Easterlings force at the moment, but I've not really read the profiles in the new army book yet on them. So it'll probably be Jay and Sam that do that, but it will be coming. Don't worry.
Cool. And then Raphael, thank you. I want to get into Lord of the Rings. I used to play first edition, but then went on to Warhammer's Fantasy Battle because there was more Warhammer Fantasy Battle players here. Now there are 2 stores that support Lord of the Rings in my area. Excellent.
Good stuff. That's what we want to hear. It's a great game. It's a great system, and
The people are lovely.
Yeah, the community as a whole is just like so friendly, and that's what we seem to hear from most people saying coming into the game. Like the community is so friendly, and everyone's really sort of.
You know, I say most sort of videos and things that I do with you, but I joined like about 2 years ago now, and if it wasn't such a friendly, I wouldn't be sat here now if it wasn't such a friendly community. You know, I took it back up because I thought it'd be a bit of a pastime, something to just do a bit of hobbying and things, and then it's the people that I've met through the community that have made me sort of stay and enjoy it and actually play the game a lot more.
And look at you now, you're live streaming.
Yeah, full on proper nerd.
We'll take a couple more comments and then we'll call it a night because I haven't had my tea yet and I'm starving. Nathaniel Sinclair says, more of a gripe. Boromir on foot with Banner being unavailable is very annoying, almost an auto-include. All I can say is just bear with them, have a bit of patience. In an ideal world, we'd be able to walk into a shop and buy anything that we wanted. But we're not in an ideal world. Games Workshop has a limited warehouse space. The repackaging everything. I know we keep saying the same stuff, but we're all in the same boat.
Yeah,
it is coming. We're hearing good things. They can't give us everything we want at once.
I think we'll see it. I think we'll see it back sooner rather than later with the Gondor in Flames.
Yes, I mean that's going to be the first supplement. So they'll make sure that when that's available, everything for Gondor that has a profile will be available. They have said that. So. You know,
they might keep it around for sort of 3 months or so, and then it might disappear again because they'll be chopping and changing with new stuff and things. But
they've got to get the cogs turning. Everything takes time. So when a decision's made, right, we're going to do like the made to order stuff.
Yeah,
we're going to do made to order. That's not going to happen overnight. That's going to be something that we're going to see probably early part of next year. So just bear with them. That's all we can say. I know it's frustrating. Just bear with them. If you want to practice with the list, just use a proxy.
In all honesty, if somebody turned up to a tournament and had Boromir and just said he has got a banner, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I've never been to a tournament where anyone's been really sort of arsey about stuff like that. And if they were, just say stop being arsey. Or we'll call you out on top table.
Special video,
just a half-hour video, just sort of calling someone out. Glyn says, I was about to say Jay lost weight. Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. Glyn Seymour being at too much Lembus in his elbow. Thanks for the great arm review. Thanks, Glyn. Thanks for tuning in. He's a regular. He watches everything, Glyn. He's a good man.
Excellent, good stuff. Man. I think that's a great time to finish.
Yeah, so I think we'll call it. We'll go and get something to eat. And thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday. It's going to be more of a general chat about everything, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, other games, whatever you want to talk about, we're going to talk about. I know probably everyone who's in the watching now is Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings and Hobbit.
All the games. Yeah, but don't be put off. If you want to talk about 40k, Kill Team, or anything like that, that'd be great. Hashtag Elven Lunchbox. That's going on the t-shirts. You need to watch that. That's good. But thank you very much, guys, and we will see you next time. So take care.